Hi there. As you know, this month I'm working on a composition with an olive branch. So hopefully you can see it. I drew, uh, drew a branch here, and there's a smaller one here and another one here. And I will put this all together to make a composition. But I'm going to do the study page first. And I'm going to try something different this month because I've bought this book from Sandrine Moji, I think. Well, that's her name, in case I said it wrong. And it's called Botanical Watercolors Through the Season. It's a lovely book full of beautiful pictures and very interesting information. And what she does is she basically uses a sort of grisaille work. So she paints the shadows first, and then she adds the color afterwards. So I've seen this done before. I think it was called Keith West, but that method I didn't like because it used mostly the same sort of mix for the shadows, and I didn't like the result. It was a little bit dull. This one here, with this method, Sandrine uses the colors that are already in the painting. So for each painting is a different shadow mix. And I think it's quite interesting. So let's see if I can find a page where I show you the way she does this. And of course, now that I'm looking for it, it doesn't come up. Okay, so there's this painting of a pear, and these are the colors in the palette for the painting, and these are the colors for the shadow. So she uses the same blue, red, and yellow that are in the palette. So it would be Ansa Yellow Light and the Peridot Red and the French Ultramarine, which are already here. So for each painting, she uses the colors for the shadows, the red, the blue, and the yellow that are already in the palette. So it becomes harmonious. And I want to do that with this painting. So what I did was I prepared a shadow mix using quinacridone magenta, and then the Hansa Yellow Light and the Winsor Blue red shade. And I'm going to try that on the leaves and see what the result is, to see if I like this method of painting. For the olives, I'm not sure if I will use the same mix. I do have the Winsor Blue green shade in the olives, which is so the other blue. I don't have yellow here, so I might try in one or two and see what comes up. I do have lemon yellow for the green olives, so I might use the lemon yellow, the Winsor Blue red shade, and for the red, quinacridone magenta is what I use anyway. It's my favorite red at the moment, so I'll do that. So this one I use it for the leaves, and next thing, so I'm going to do this, the painting the shadow in the leaves. All right, to do this, I have made a copy of my picture because I'm using pictures as well. I've used the real subject to do the drawing, but I like to take pictures because then the leaves are going to start changing, and colors and shapes are changing. So I take pictures, and what I do is I like to have a black and white copy of the picture, and I can see exactly where the shadows and lights are. So for this work, it's perfect because I'm working at first with the shadows, and was this one here. The leaves are starting to change, and the color of the olives. I keep these in the fridge in a plastic box, but it's always good to have a photo reference as well to work from. First thing I do is take away some of the graphite to make this a little bit lighter. Although this is a sketchbook, so it's not, you know, the end of the world if you can still see the pencil. But let's make it a little bit lighter. Alright, so I'm going to dilute this mix quite a bit, and let's see, let's start with a light mix. So this leaf is quite in shadow. But then this side is a bit, the light hits this side. And then this leaf here, there is a shadow on this side. And what I do is I just rinse the brush to clean it and just tap it here to make the smooth transition. Sometimes I use 2 brushes to do this. So there is a little tiny leaf there. And I usually use my magnifying lens because it's easier for me to see the small details. But at the moment, I don't want to use it, otherwise you won't see properly what I'm doing. So I might get some of these little details a little bit wrong because that's what astigmatism does to you. So I'm just cleaning the brush and making the transition, and there is a little bit of a shadow there, and I might actually use the other brush. So just wet it and tap it on my rag here, and then there's a little bit of a shadow here as well. And I will need to make this a little bit darker because normally the leaf at the back it would be darker, but this is actually the back of the leaf, just to play on words, and the color is lighter. So all in all, this leaf at the top here is actually darker. So this bit here needs to be quite a bit darker than the leaf underneath. Hopefully that makes sense. And then so this leaf here is also the back of the leaf. So although it has a shadow, it's not as dark as the other shadows. And there is a little bit of a light reflection there on the side, on the edge. And then the next shadow is actually around here. Okay, and then this leaf here is on this side, the shadow. This one is actually doesn't have a strong shadow, so I'll leave it for now. And then this one has got a shadow here. Okay. And then little shadows on the branch as well. And there. And here on this side. So this leaf here, again, has a shadow here where the midrib is. And a little bit on this side. And this here, same thing. Okay, and I think I will strengthen some of the shadows, the darker shadows that I can see here. All right, so these are the shadows. I think I'm happy with them at the moment, and I will see what happens when I add the color. So I'm just going to remix the colors now, and I'm going to use these swatches here as my guide to mix the color for the leaves and the olives.